Let's go. Bang, bang, bang. What's going on, y'all, man? Buffalo Bills podcast here, episode
Boom,
7. I
boom, boom.
believe
We back.
we
We
big back.
live, baby.
Yeah, man. You already see Stadium still in the background. Me, I'm at
Oh
home
man.
relaxing and maxing
Ooh,
on this afternoon here, the day before the draft.
draft week,
Guys,
baby.
yeah, you guys will hear this on draft day, so hopefully you guys will be already filled with excitement or whatever. But yeah, we here, man. This is officially the end of mock draft season. You know, everybody doing their last little tidbits. I know Z working on one right now. I know a few others that are working on their last minute changes as we get more information. But you know how we feeling, man. Less than 24 hours away. How you feeling, Z?
Excited. I mean, I just want to know who's gonna be the newest Bills at this point, man. You always got your favorite, who you want, who you don't want, but either way, no matter who they pick, I'm gonna be rooting for them like crazy. So I'm just ready to see how this plays out. Just want to see
Right.
how some of these trades around the league take place, if any. I mean,
It's
last
gonna
couple years on draft day,
it's gonna be it's gonna be a couple.
yeah, it's been some big moves on draft day. So I'm just excited, just as a football fan, to see how these next 48, 72 hours play out.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be fun to see because, like you said, man, for a lot of these young guys, this is life changing. This is for the average fan of a team. You're opening your arms to five, six, seven new players to root for. Whether you knew about them before this process or whether you start to get to know them this weekend, it's always a fun time to dive into it, right? Just look at highlights or look at a person's background because I know with each of the I mean, I'll say at least the last 4 or 5 years, every time we get a player, I make sure I go and kind of dive into their background. You know, that's kind of how I knew about DeMar Hamlin before, people started to really pay attention to DeMar Hamlin because I remember the day they got him on day 3, it was like, this safety out of Pittsburgh. He was a leader on their defense. I started getting on YouTube, looking into him. Like, okay, this dude seemed like a solid dude. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he a hitter, he this and that. So it's just a fun time to just look at those day 2, those day 3 picks. Of course we get excited about the day 1 picks. They're normally the ones who, for the most part, see the field right away.
Right.
Even though for the Bills, sometimes it can
You
be that
never
way.
know.
Sometimes it can't. But yeah, so before we get into our Bills draft discussion, like our last day discussion regarding this. And by the way, it won't be the longest episode. We both have had a busy week, trying week, and we know that we're just moments away from the draft. So we'll definitely have more to cover next week. So we're not going to drag this one out. But before we get into that, those who are listening or watching, they've probably already gotten the official word with Aaron Rodgers. He's already had his press conference. What are your thoughts on what you're hearing about Aaron Rodgers? I mean, we all knew it was coming the last 4 to 5 weeks, but now that it's officially official, how are you feeling about where the Jets are as a team? Like, what do they need to do really to go from being on the cusp of a playoff team to being considered in that same tier with Buffalo, Kansas City, and Cincinnati?
But at this point, all they got to do is show up. Um, I mean, they had a solid team last year. I mean, extremely solid defense. They had some great rookies step in. I mean, Brees Hall came in, was looking like a stud before he got hurt. I mean, we all saw what Garrett Wilson did, rookie of the year.
Right.
I mean, they got a who they pick up? Allen Lazard.
Yep, they added Alan Lazard. They already got I think they still got Elijah Moore, right?
No, they traded Moore a couple weeks ago.
Where did he go?
I already got traded to. Who did Moore get traded to?
You might have to look that up. Well, I can look it up too.
Yeah, I'll pull it up real quick. But yeah, I mean, again, Allen is there. I mean, the only real weakness at this point is O line, and they got plenty of. He got traded to the Browns,
Oh, okay. Okay.
and they got plenty of time to fix that. I mean, they can, like I said, there's still another wave of free agency. They got the draft, so this off rip. This puts them, and I don't think it puts them right at the Chiefs,
In that same tier?
Bengals, Bills tier, which I still think they're the clear top three,
Right.
but
Right.
it puts them right. right up underneath them in that tier two.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. I think they right there at that tier 2 level with Miami, with
Chargers
with the Chargers, with Baltimore.
with Lamar.
Right. Well, I'm about to say,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
gotta say with Lamar.
if Lamar is playing, you got to
Yeah.
put Baltimore there because you know any team under Harbaugh with Lamar playing, with their run game, with their defense, they're gonna find a way to squeeze out 10, 11 wins.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what they do. So I would group the Jets in that category, but I will say out of that tier, they do have the best potential to make a run. And I would say only because of the experience that Aaron Rodgers bring. Like, it's one thing to have one of those other teams that we mentioned, but some of those young QBs ain't got the QB. I mean, ain't got the knowledge of the game like Rodgers. And that can work in two different ways, though. Like, we could see all that experience mean nothing because he could just come out looking dusty, which I don't
Mm-hmm.
expect him to look dusty, but he can still show his age. You know, we saw him live at the Ralph last year and on Sunday Night Football, which some people thought was going to be this amazing back and forth game. Wasn't quite like that. And if Allen probably don't throw 2 interceptions in that red zone, we probably win that game by 30 points. So, which Rodgers do we see? We know Trevor Lawrence is coming. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you got a healthy Lamar, we know what that's about. Deshaun Watson in Cleveland, we'll see. I'm not putting him in tier 2, but we'll see what Cleveland is about. Um, Obviously in tier 3, you got like Pittsburgh, you know, Kenny Pickett or whatever. We'll see. I know they made a low key move because they added what, Allen Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Allen Robinson ain't did nothing in a couple years, but do you feel like that was anything of a move like worth? I don't know, worth
I mean, it doesn't move the meter at
right,
all. I mean, it doesn't hurt,
right.
but
Of course, I mean, you got what, Deontay Johnson, and you got the young dude. What's the young dude name that's aggressive as hell?
George Pickens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's
Pickens is a
right.
number one.
Right, so that's a nice trio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
That's a
mean, like I
nice.
said, it definitely hurt from a top three standpoint. That's a shit ton of talent.
Listen, that's a low key. That's a top 5 trio in the conference.
Yeah, it's yeah. I want to say the quarterback play was better, but it's not like not like Pickett was bad. He was
Right.
just a
It,
rookie.
it was just a rookie. Right. 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 If he can make a nice year 2 jump, they'll be right in that tier 3, trying to, well, in that conference, quiet as kept, they can still win that again. Because the Colts will see what they add in the draft, right? Quarterback wise. We'll see what Tennessee adds in the draft, you know, outside of, we know Tannehill's their quarterback. And then you
Do
got Houston.
we? I mean, you think Tannehill winning off rip?
Last year of his contract, I won't say off rip. I think it really just depends on who they draft. If they draft a quarterback,
I
like
mean, they got old boy they drafted last year, and his name is slipping my mind.
Willis, something Malik Willis.
Yeah, Malik Willis. I mean, he played man when he played.
Yeah, he was barely
He,
cracking 100 yards. He was giving me dude vibes from Atlanta, Ritter.
yeah, that
They
is
were
true.
they were just out there. I'm just like, dog,
But
y'all.
Tennessee also has nothing on offense.
Yeah, outside of Derrick Henry and what's the young wide receiver that they got last year? That dude.
No, Traylon Burks.
Yeah, he might got some potential there, but
Yeah, but I mean, he wasn't even getting nothing.
so I say all that to say
Yeah.
Jacksonville probably winning that conference again.
They should. They should. Unless Indy just somehow hits a home run with a quarterback and just good right away.
Right.
But they
Which
got
we
a ton of talent on that team.
But yeah, but back to that Aaron Rodgers though. If he the Buffalo Bills, how you feeling?
I'm cool. You know, it'll make them a better team. It's not gonna hurt. But I mean, this team still won division by 3, 4 games last year. I mean, does this move bring them closer? Absolutely. Does
Eh,
this put them as the favorites in the division? Still
nah.
don't think so.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
I would listen. I mean,
yeah, I mean, someone
after
could you
this
could make the
draft, I would.
argument.
Right.
Yeah, someone could make an argument. If someone were to say Jets are the favorite in the AFC East, I wouldn't look at them like they're absolutely crazy.
Right. Like they have
I
5 picks.
Yeah, I'd be like, huh, okay. I still wouldn't agree with it, but
Right.
you could make the argument. I
Because
just
you because you
again, a
still got
39-year-old Rodgers is It's not a 25-year-old Rodgers. I mean, granted, it's 2 years from an MVP level, but you're gonna have to run through the gauntlet in the AFC. It's
Facts.
not ain't no easy wins anywhere.
And you still got a 26-year-old quarterback if you're the Buffalo Bills.
Right. Because again, I mean, the Bills didn't get worse. I
Right.
mean, so it's like, all right,
They
if you have the
lost.
Bills at where they are and where they've been, has the Jets done enough to fill that gap and surpass it? I don't think they
Yeah.
have yet.
Yeah, I think the biggest question for me going into this weekend will be to see how they view the linebacker position. I think, we're all caught up in the wide receiver conversation, which I definitely understand because, I'm team wide receiver on day one or day two anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing I'll be definitely keeping an eye on is for sure that linebacker position, just because I want to know. Really, I just want to know what style they're looking for. I think it's still up in the air. If they want a downhill guy or if they want a sideline guy. I mean, of course they can get both, right? But I think this draft is kind of weird in a way where it's just like you almost feel like you're going to get one or the other. Now, you can get an undersized guy that's all around, like a guy like Ivan Pace Jr., who I've mentioned a couple times. But he's only about 5'11", 6 feet at best. But I just feel like some of the bigger name linebackers, they really fit either one or two modes when it comes to that middle linebacker position. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Bills address that. They're at a weird spot, I feel like, on day two for their second round pick, because it's like at 59, you're not necessarily getting like that back end sleeper from the first round that didn't quite crack the first round. You're kind of getting a borderline. Maybe this guy slipped back because of positional needs. Like,
Right, right.
so it's gonna be like, to me, I'm obviously I'm anxious to see who they get on day one, but day two is really gonna like tell me a lot about, kind of like where they see they really need help, or like where they trying to go, because it's like you get two picks. And on those two picks on that Friday, you want to make sure, if possible, you can hit on both. We don't want another
Yeah.
4 situation.
Again, but at this point in our team development, with so much money tied into our top players, we have to hit on these draft picks. Like rounds 1 through 3, like these guys are gonna have to come in, and by next year at the latest, these needs to be consistent contributors on the team. Because
Right.
again, they're not gonna be able to have a bunch of money available for higher end depth pieces that they've had over the last few years. So these early round picks, they gotta hit on, and that's regardless of the position.
Right. Of
Whether
course. Yeah.
whether it's a running back, a tackle, a guard, a safety, regardless, they're gonna have to hit, and these gonna have to be impactful players. And if you're not starting within the first year or two, you're going to have to be a significant role player or somewhere in that rotation and getting some type of meaningful snaps. Because again, these are the positions, or these are the draft picks that's going to be filling out our team. We got so much money tied into our quarterback, tied into a receiver, tied into safeties, tied into linebackers.
Von Miller.
We
Yeah.
we need these picks to hit.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I said I'm really gonna be tapped in. I think the 3 round mock that we did last week was good because we were able to play around with some ideas there, and kind of discuss maybe 7 or 8 guys. I still think that tight end too is a sleeper position of need.
Yep.
On day two.
I mean, we only got 2 tight ends on the roster right now,
Right,
so you got to
right.
find another one somewhere.
That's a fact. So I'm looking, not necessarily saying we got to reach for one. I'm definitely not
Yeah,
in that
but
group.
like round 3,
Round 3, what I
3,
mean?
4,
3, 4 for
yeah.
I say for sure rounds
3
3
through
through 5.
5.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rounds 3 through 5. I'm gonna get a little bit like, all right, who the best tight end on the board? Like,
Yeah.
and that's not to say there's a veteran out there that we don't know about that's
I'm
20.
sure there's somebody that can
Yeah,
slide in. But again, I want a cost control contract,
right.
some with not a lot of money,
And
somebody
hopefully,
with some youth.
right, I'm about to say, and hopefully somebody who you can put on your contract for 4 years and not have to worry about.
Yeah, they good. We ain't got to worry about
You
nothing.
don't gotta worry about the money and nothing like
You
that.
come get your little 750,000.
Listen, right. And that's why I really think, especially after playing Dawson Knox, I don't really think they'll get one early because I think that what they'll do is say, okay, if we already got however many million tied up to Knox, let's try to make sure we can still find a high upside tight end, but maybe round 4, round 5, who we can pay whatever and
Right.
still get that good combination of talent in that room. Because if I roll in the room with Knox, your man Morris, and then one of these top 5 or top 6 tight ends,
That's a lot of money tied up to tight ends.
yeah. So I'm just like, let's see how this plays out. Like I said, I'm interested because we went from being a month away to being weeks away to now it's happening this week.
It's tomorrow, dog.
Yeah, and for those listening on the day of the draft, it's happening later tonight. So
It's happening tonight.
right, so it's going to be a lot to look at, and one thing we talked about before we got on air, because we can skip past the Jet stuff. I mean, I think it is what it is with that situation.
Yeah, they're gonna be a good team.
Right.
They're gonna be there to the very end.
Anything to take from the movement of these wide receivers? Because I think you mentioned something about a mock that you recently did with Quentin Johnston, and
Yeah, I feel like Zay Flowers has been getting a lot of love lately. Just
kind of
a lot of
yeah,
hype. Like I don't know if he's gonna be there. I don't know how it's gonna play out. I feel like the only thing I'm pretty confident about is JSN being gone well before we pick.
right, yeah. I think he's
Outside of
top
that,
15. Yeah, top 15 for JSN.
I really have no idea. I feel like any of those quarterbacks, I feel like Addison could be gone. I feel like
Right.
Flowers could be gone. I feel like Johnson can be gone. And I feel like shit, 2 out of 3 could be there. Like I really just don't know. Because every year there's gonna be a pick or two that
You'd be like, oh, they was
some people call head scratchers. I mean,
right,
obviously not for the team picking them, but
right.
other people who do, draft pronunciations, whatever that word is, they scratch their head like, oh, we had him at the end of the second round, but obviously not. They had him at the first. But there's obviously always going to be 1 or 2 of those. If there's a run on quarterback somewhere or a run on corners or something,
Mhm.
defensive ends and receivers start dropping a little bit, then I'm going to be like, I mean, if
Listen,
we get to a point where it's pick 21, 22, and only JSN off the board, I know Brandon Bean will be like, all right, now, do I want to make a move now and go get me one of my guys, or just let this roll out how it may?
yeah, I mean, like I said, we'll know. Oof, I want to say like after the top 15, but even after 15, it can get a little crazy between 15 and 27. But
Oh, 100%.
but
Because I mean, last year, I mean, it was a hell of a run on
yeah,
receivers before we
it
picked.
was like 3 wide receivers and like 6 picks, and it was just
Not
like,
that I
oh,
really think we're gonna pick one anyways,
nah. Last year I was,
but you just saw how it played out, and it did the same thing in the second round.
yeah. I mean, I think last year I was more so thinking it was definitely going to be corner because I remember we got on
Mhm.
here last year and we were going over the top 5 corners in the draft.
Yeah, well, pretty much. Which one of these 3 do we want?
Right, yeah, and I was leaning towards dude from Clemson, which he ended up going to. Ooh, where did he go? He went to either Philly or the Chargers, one of those teams, and I don't even think he ended up being that good in his rookie year. But
I don't even remember who else was around. I think it was
uh,
Tyler Gordon,
yeah,
Trent McDuffie.
Brent McDuffie was in that mix because he went to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bunch of different names, and I think that similarly right now, instead of looking at the top 5 corners, we've been finding ourselves, evaluating the top 5, 6 wide receivers, and I do think one of the sleepers I keep hearing about more now is the wide receiver from North Carolina. I think his name is Josh Downs.
Mm-hmm.
He got a lot of twitch, working in the slot, got a good route tree, kind of look like Cole Beasley out there.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just a pure slot through and
right.
through.
So I'm just like, do they reach or move back and get a guy like a Downs? Because they don't got to go up and get a guy like Downs.
Yeah, I
I
feel
think
like
if
there
it's
was. I
any
think
name,
there's a report from like Peter King had a report that the Bills really like Downs.
right? I saw that too, and that's what made me think about it. And then when I saw that he might end up being a wide receiver that gets picked late in the first round, I'm just like, now that is a possibility. Would I be head over heels? No. But is he a good wide receiver from what I've seen? Yeah, I think he's a good wide receiver for what you may be looking for as far as creating quick separation.
Mm-hmm. Working out of the slot. quick
Right.
twitch, good
Yeah,
route running.
kind of filling two roles, which is Cole
Yeah,
Beasley and Isaiah McKenzie. I know we still got the other guys who we picked up, which is cool, but again, getting you a guy on a rookie deal with a boatload of potential.
yeah. Only thing I don't like about that is just he's not a bigger body at all. And
Oh
again,
no,
I don't need a 6'4" receiver, but you
right.
bringing him in and then you match him with what we picked up this offseason,
Yeah,
you
you got a
know,
lot of small bodies.
yeah, that makes us a pretty small, short receiving room. I mean, granted, Zay Flowers and a couple of the other guys are only 5'10", but 5'10" is different than 5'7", 5'8".
Oh, down. I ain't check his height. Down like 5'8".
Let me
All right, check that out for me.
get that accurately.
Yeah, let's make sure we get that information right. But I mean,
Yeah.
either way, I mean, I feel you on the whole. Like,
No, he's 5'10". I'm saying corrected.
okay, I think he just looks smaller on film though. Like I've seen him, from some of the clips that I've watched, and I'm just
Yeah,
like,
no.
he does look
I,
smaller,
yeah, I
but
take that back.
Zay Flowers look smaller. Like, but Zay, I think the difference is with him and Zay, at least, let's just compare those two, is Zay plays bigger than what he is. Like Zay gets down, like I said, I compared him to like an Antonio Brown a little bit. I'm like, he can get up and down the field, he can run every route, he can play physical if you need him to. Like Zay Flowers don't play like he's 5'10". So
Right.
that's why I'm a big fan of Zay, is because I sometimes like those guys under 6 feet who don't necessarily play like they're under 6 feet. The Steve Smiths of the world. He helped me out. There's a few other under 6 feet guys where it's just like, yeah, it didn't matter.
Oh, yeah, like Golden Tate. Like I just think of like smaller frame guys who still go up and get it, still get contested catches, still play physical. Like it's a
Right,
ton of examples. Yeah, I
right,
mean, look at Debo Samuel. Like he's not a big guy
right,
at all, but
right.
that man
But that's
built
why
like a tank.
that's why I can live with a Zay Flowers or even a Jordan Addison. Just
Hmm.
because, like, sure, if you smaller, or if you on the smaller side, but you can still run every route and you can still catch the ball over the middle, catch it on the sideline. I feel like that kind of wide receiver is going to really complement Diggs and Davis, because they just need another great route runner to just complement those two. Because
Right.
I'm not a Davis hater, but I just know what complements his style, and it's having another guy next to him that can really get open. Point
Yeah,
blank.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, we
This
need
is what it is.
someone.
Like he's not like Gabe. I mean, he ain't no Jerry Rice. Gabe ain't like, and I hate that sometimes Gabe, is either hot or cold when it comes to Gabe. Either some people
Yeah,
love him or some people hate him.
I feel like sometimes it just boils down to what your expectations are out of that number two receiver role. Because I mean, I just heard earlier today that he has the most touchdowns ever by a receiver in the first 4 years of someone drafted in the fourth round or later. I heard that, was like, what?
Right.
I thought that was crazy. But I mean, he's put up
I got
numbers. He put up numbers every year. So he's fired from a bad receiver. I think it's just who are you comparing him to?
right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think you said it before. Expectations. What are your expectations for a number two, and what are your expectations for a guy like Gabe, who came in day three, who came in, most people didn't know if he was gonna make immediate impact, and he kind of
Yeah,
did. He
raw
had like,
from a route running standpoint.
right, raw from that standpoint, but he can still get downfield. And I think last year, what might have happened at times is just they might have used him in different ways that they didn't need to. Like a lot of the passes ended up, especially in the second half of the year, from my memory standpoint, I just remember them, a lot of it being like 30 yards down the field. And it's
Right.
like, why are we not, squeezing in a couple? Like, is it that y'all don't feel comfortable with him running those
Hmm.
underneath routes or
Or is he
intermediate?
just not getting open in those
Right.
routes?
Or maybe, right, he might not be winning those routes. So maybe they made everything, deep one-on-one. So we're gonna find out this year though. I think that from hearing Beam, from hearing McDermott, they still obviously have confidence in Gabe. Um, and most fans should realize the dude is averaging like 7 touchdowns a year,
Right.
which isn't bad. Like we just came from
Far from it.
We just came from a decade of Bills wide receivers barely getting
Nothing.
6. Yeah, they was barely getting 6 touchdowns. And now you got your number 2/3 wide receiver consistently getting you 7, 8 touchdowns
Mm-hmm.
and even snuck in a 4 touchdown game in a meaningful playoff game. Snuck that in there. So I don't know. We gonna see, but I think that overall, I think everybody is pretty much in agreement that they could just use another compliment.
Yeah, absolutely. This,
Like
uh, this, I just think they just need younger talent because again, for the short term and the long term, because we don't know what Gabe looks like next season. We don't know if there's an extension in play. We don't know if he's gonna walk, and if he walks, that leaves us with Diggs and Shakir under contract, and that's it.
right.
So, I mean, we need an influx of young talent. Diggs is, every day that passes, he's getting older, just like the rest of us. But I mean, I think he's still got some good years left, but he's getting older as well.
Yeah. And I will say the good thing is that we even forgot to mention the homie Khalil. Like I feel like a lot of conversations that I hear around wide receiver, people don't even discuss him. It's either Diggs, Davis, or Hardy. And like nobody talks about guy Trent from Miami or Shakir, who
Yeah, who I mean, he's fifth round pick though, so you're gonna have to go improve it. I mean, like, granted, he's made some really tough and really impactful catches. He didn't have a ton of them last year, but I feel like they all were impactful when he did. Showed a
man,
great set of hands.
yeah,
Showed a knack of getting open.
right. Stuff that he did at Boise State. So I'm looking at even him as a sleeper to crack that top 4 if possible. You mix in Hardy obviously here and there. Same thing with Trent. We'll see what that's all about. But
And he is working with Eric Moses this offseason, supposedly.
right. And so I'm just kind of like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm not giving
Mm-hmm.
up hope on Shakir. I'm not giving on hope on Gabe. Just another compliment is all I'm asking for.
Oh
And
yeah.
we're gonna find out real quick. And that's what I'm excited to see because I
Hey
love
dog,
I
whether
love
they
watching
draft
wide receivers.
one in the first couple rounds or they go get old homie. Either way.
What's up, homie?
You know
Oh,
old homie.
Hopkins.
Yeah.
Man, they on that train hard right now. I mean, and I'll say that before we move forward and try to round this out and close it out because I said we was going to do 30 minutes, but we'll probably go over. Where are you on that meter when it comes to Hopkins? Are you like, ooh, we gotta get it type shit? Like I know we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but like it seems like people were rounding it back up because of his comments, the interviews that he's doing, and
I
Pac-Man.
say if we don't get a receiver in the first 2 rounds, then I need to go get me Hopkins.
Right? Why
Because
not?
anything after that, it's a crapshoot
Yeah,
for the most part,
I feel you.
or a long-term projection of somebody, but not necessarily a impact player year one. So in that case, yo, listen, hey man, what it's gonna take to get over? What we need a fourth and a sixth. All right, bet, cool.
Or y'all want a fourth and next year third? All right, bet.
Nah, you ain't getting my third
You not
next
doing
year.
that? Your third for next year?
Not really.
I might do it. I don't know if I'm gonna just completely go down 2 rookies for Hop for 1 year or 2 years. Like I don't know.
Nah, I don't want my third next year. You can have my fourth next year.
So a fourth and a fourth?
Hey, take a fourth and a fourth, or a fourth and a sixth this year. I don't want to get my third. That third next year could be a starter, third round pick.
I know, but I'm just saying
That's
if it got spicy, I might do a fifth and a third. I might do a fifth this year and a third next year.
whatever. That's fine.
I'm just saying, like I'm just trying to think of creative ways that would make sense for both teams. Because
Mhm.
I know Cardinals in a tough spot. So
They
like you
have no
said,
leverage.
right. So I'm about to say, like, we could get to day 2, early day 3, and Cards just like, yo, we gotta get this month off the team.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to go ahead and sneak us another draft pick. So what's up? And
Right.
Buffalo might be the first place because from what I'm hearing within the last 24 hours, it's looking like it's coming down to Buffalo and Kansas City. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I know he wouldn't mind going to either one.
I don't think he would care.
So unless somebody else sneak up in that what's the name? Because I think who the Cowboys end up snatching? They got Brandon Cooks, or who did they get?
Yeah, they traded for Cooks.
Okay, so
Yeah,
they
traded for
kind they
Cooks.
kind of got their little compliment for CD. I mean, not to say Hopkins still can't make it out that way.
Right, right. Damn, that'd
But
be a hell of a room if they did.
oh man, crazy room. But
Oof.
yeah, filthy. But I'm thinking it's probably gonna lean towards one of those two teams. And like I said, I think Bean is smart enough to see how the first couple picks go. You know, if they don't go the way they want, or if somebody else jumps off the board, he like, nah, I gotta take this D tackle right here. I gotta go Mozzie. I gotta go whoever. You know, maybe Deion Henley falls to 59 and he like, I gotta get this, or Isaiah Simmons or whatever. So not Isaiah Simmons, but Trenton Simpson. So like there's some weird stuff that can happen where I could see being kind of being like, you know what, it's Friday night, it's 10:30.
I did.
Yeah, let's add a little razzle dazzle. Like, why not? You know what I mean? Let's make these Bills fans sleep a little easier.
Right.
So I don't know. We'll see. But
Listen, if the trade happens, I want it to happen during the draft hours, just so it can come across as breaking news and I can just get amped. I can be sitting here waiting for, I don't know, Carolina to make a pick and all of a sudden breaking news.
mm-hmm. That'll be fun. I mean, it makes for entertainment. Like
DeAndre Hopkins on the move, traded to the Buffalo Bills. I know I'd just be amped. So I would just from an excitement standpoint, I would just love to see it happen. Shit, go draft one early and make a trade. Why not?
yeah,
Run it up. That's wild.
definitely wild. I got some work related news too, so I'm gonna probably have to get off the phone in a few minutes.
But you know what'd be funny though? Like it's
up?
unrelated to Bills, but it'd be funny if Green Bay, traded for Aaron Rodgers in the first draft. Without Rodgers, they go and draft a receiver in the first round. When they ain't get him no first round receivers his whole career. Like I would just find that funny. That's all.
Yeah, listen. All I was gonna say, that's gonna be a funny situation. But I think time will tell. The schedule about to come out soon, probably in the next couple. Well, y'all know that means that's probably primetime Bills Jets somewhere, which
it's gonna be a whole lot of primetime games again.
Right. We can't run from it.
I miss my Sundays at 1, man. I
Yeah,
ain't gonna
Sundays at
lie.
1, you might as well, know what I mean? We'd be lucky to get 4 of them things.
Just
It's either
back
gonna
it
be
up
four, yeah,
Sundays.
it's either gonna be 4:15 or it's gonna be a Sunday, Thursday, or a Saturday, unfortunately.
Yeah, Black Friday maybe even.
Black Friday. But like I said before, take the
Might
phone.
have another damn Thanksgiving game. You might have anything.
Yeah, you don't know. But like I said, because I know I gotta take this call. Prediction wise, any bold prediction for this weekend? Because we know we're not reconnecting with people till after the draft, so we don't got to do day 1 prediction, day 2, day 3. Bold prediction, it can be NFL or Bills. So I ain't gonna strap you to just saying what's the bold prediction you see coming from the Bills for this draft. It could be NFL or Bills. What you got?
Ooh, man, bold predictions.
You be batting 500, so
I know, man. I wasn't prepared for this one. Man, bold predictions. My God.
I know, right?
Hmm.
And it could be even semi-bold. It ain't even got to be bold. It could be semi-bold.
I got nothing, man.
You got
I don't know, man. This one is tough right now. Some bold.
I'm gonna try to get
You know what? I'll say bold prediction. New England to draft a quarterback within the first 3 rounds.
okay.
Don't know how bold that
I
actually
mean,
is.
I can say semi-bold, but I feel you on that. That's definitely semi-bold because then it's like, ooh, is Mac Jones on a hot seat? So I can
Yeah, let's put a little pressure on them because
I can
I don't think they love him over there. Man, they had to try to throw Bailey Zappi out there. So they really tried to make that work. Bailey Zappi. So if they get an opportunity to draft a quarterback, I wouldn't be surprised if they, take a swing at a second round QB or shit, maybe even first round.
Okay, I got 2 different ways I might want to attack this one though. One semi-bold prediction that's already kind of been rumored, but I'll stamp it as one of my bold predictions. But I'll say Jets go ahead and take JSN as the first wide receiver off the board.
You think he's gonna last till then?
I think he'll last to 15.
I don't think he's gonna get to 15.
I think he'll get to 15, but like I said, I'll leave that as one of my, like, I don't even want to call that bold, but like it's kind of two parts to it because I feel like he definitely will be the number one receiver selected, but I feel like the Jets are going to somehow get him just to team him
Hmm.
up with his old teammate Garrett Wilson.
I don't think he's gonna last till then.
We
I
gonna see.
don't.
That's why they call it bold. You know what I mean? Anything can happen on draft day.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
And then from a player movement standpoint, I'll try to switch it up. I will say Buda Baker gets traded to the Baltimore Ravens for either a third or a fourth.
Damn, if all they get is a third or fourth for Buda Baker, Arizona got to be hurting.
Third or fourth. Like I said, they might get anxious because Arizona, we know they got a couple guys who trying to get up out of here. D one of them, but if I had to guess on the most likely scenario, especially involving a certain team, I could see Baltimore targeting a guy like a Buda Baker and saying, you know what, we already got one of the best secondaries in the league. Let's find room for Buda Baker. And we gotta play Cincinnati. We got all of these other teams that we gotta contend with. Fuck it, Buda. Let's get you over here. Round 3, round 4, whatever we gotta use. And I think Buda Baker to the Ravens.
Okay.
So that's what
I
we gonna
mean, I think he got to get traded at some point.
right at some point.
Yeah, so it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of
And JSN to the Jets. We gonna see. That'd be nice. It'd be a nice splashy move for the Jets, but like you said, who knows if he gonna last that long though.
yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I hope it don't.
I
Shit, for
hope it
our
don't
sake, I
happen.
hope it don't happen.
Yeah, I hope that don't happen.
Yeah, nah. We need more talent on our side. They don't need no more talent. But any last words you want to give them there? Because like I said, I hate to hit the people with a reduced episode, but I said I have
Oh,
to.
it's not reduced. It's just condensed.
Good way to put it.
And there it is. But enjoy it. Just you know,
Sit back.
at the end of the day, if the Bills don't pick your player you're in love with, it's okay. You'll survive. As we know, we're not always right because
Listen.
most of us hated the Josh Allen pick. Or if they didn't hate it, they weren't excited about it. So at the end of the day, whoever they pick, they're gonna be a Buffalo Bill. So
Right.
find out as much information as you can. Hit
Mm-hmm.
up YouTube, start watching little highlights. But
You know what I
it's
mean?
okay if they don't pick your player. Don't run to Twitter and trip. Don't
Yeah,
be
don't.
like fire Brandon Bean,
Yeah,
fire
don't.
out the whole scouting staff. Just let it play out. See what the whole draft has in store before we trip.
Trust the process.
And trust the process, but enjoy it too. I mean, shit, this is fun. This is stress free.
Right. This shit is all games to us because we don't get paid to do this. They the
Right.
ones that get paid. Like you done watched a couple clips probably online. You done listened to this beat reporter, that beat reporter. These people get paid to actually physically go out to these college games. They get paid to actually sit down with some of these athletes. So just remember that when you being extra crucial, and I'm reminding myself that too. When we looking at them being extra crucial, it's like, yo, these people put in real time with these people, with
Right.
these guys. So, like you said, I'm gonna enjoy it. Shit, NBA playoff wise, we see what's going on with them. You know what I mean? See my Knicks still, yes, sir.
Yeah, and your boys might mess around and run into Miami.
Hey, listen, Knicks Miami rivalry
Hey,
back. PJ Brown,
hey,
where you at? Anthony Mason, what's up?
and your boy Dylan Brooks down bad
Down
right now.
bad. You can't. What
Down
they,
bad.
what they tell you to don't poke the fucking bear.
My man skipping out on press conferences too. You see that sequence when Anthony Davis sent his shit, and then he turned around and shot a air ball 3-pointer. Dylan
Nah,
Brooks,
I'm
yeah,
about to be asleep.
he shrugged his shoulders. He put that three up from the corner, air ball by a mile. He was like, damn, bro, you down bad right now.
Down. Well, listen, like I said, NBA playoffs on, NFL draft. Pick your poison. NHL. I don't want to leave out the
I was
NHL.
about to say, don't sleep on NHL playoffs. It's been
I'm
entertaining.
not going to do that for my NHL fans. And then you got the baseball fans out there, Yankee fans, and all of that. So,
Yeah, we get back to y'all in July.
nah,
For
all
now,
right, it's too much going on, right?
yeah, it's playoff time. We'll see y'all.
But,
We got
but
another
not
6 more months of baseball. Shit.
right. But even on a serious note, too, I want to say this too, because I know I'm always busy and I got a lot going on myself. Take care of your personal life too, y'all. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on, sports. We got the 1 year anniversary of the shooting coming up here in Buffalo. So just remind yourself through all of these little quick months, because April is gone, to just take care of yourself. Continue to yeah, do the best you can to take everything day by day, because I feel like, this thing called life goes by so fast, and we don't take the proper time sometimes to enjoy each day, and just try to get better each day too. It's something I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm looking at myself on camera right now, and it's a reminder to myself to just continue to do my best to be a better person all the way around. And hopefully you listeners out there are doing the same thing, because we all got things that we got to work on. And outside of sports, let's just try to be the best version of ourselves.
Couldn't said it better myself, brother.
Hey man, you know how I go. Got to preach about once a month.
There it
But
is.
but anyways, y'all, listen, it's been real. It's only been about a month of us talking about the draft, so it's finally here. Enjoy, like Z said, and we gonna catch up with y'all next week. All right, so y'all enjoy.
Go Bills.
And go Bills, all that fun stuff, and we'll catch y'all next week.
See y'all. Peace.
No.